Hello everyone! Today we are going to make another review for Star Wars Legion, continuing on the Mandalorians. I have recently finished the Clan Saxon, I had already done the Children of the Watch and the common units, and now we're going to go towards the customizable clans bonuses. Let's get started. The first bonus, you're going to choose two bonuses among 5 different bonuses for the game. The first one is going to be Veteran. It allows you to equip Galar 15 carbines for free on all your Mandalorian warrior units to potentially play an army with Shocker 05 and with the customizable commander, leader, center, whatever you want. Maybe with one or two of them with the overwhelm weapon and have like a huge amount of suppressions just going on your opponent. That can be a thing. Otherwise, if you're just scared of not having enough range in your army, that is a pretty good option to just have a full range 3 army, a more classical army. Maybe sometimes it can be a little bit easier to adapt to the new armies if it is a little bit closer to what you might be used to. And additionally, not only you have Galar 15 carbines for free, but you give also two of your units during setup Dauntless Keyword, and Dauntless Keyword means that your unit, when they are suppressed but not panicked, which means they will lose an action, they can take an extra suppression, and they will make a free move action, so it allows you to still get kind of 2 actions if you need to double move into scoring, or double move to get a charge, or if you need to move, shoot at your opponent. This can allow it to be a little easier. Moving on to tools of the trade, you may include 1 additional copy of each of the flame projector, jetpack rockets, and whipcord launcher upgrade cards in your army. The additional copies do not cost points and may be equipped by any Mandalorian trooper unit, ignoring restrictions. Each unit may still only ever be equipped with 1 copy of an upgrade card. So what does it make? It allows you to get 3 flame projectors, which is really nice. Flame projectors are going to be very scary for your opponent. They are going to put lots of pressure because all their 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 miniatures units and more obviously will be really taking big damages from those flame projectors. They need to be very careful about it. This is going to be very deadly on the battlefield, and also adds blast to an attack at range 1, and it also gives you suppressive to an attack at range 1 or into melee, so that can be also a really nice bonus. You as well get jetpack rockets. We've already spoken about flame projector jetpack rockets and whipcord launchers in previous videos about the common cards. And jetpack rockets, having 3 jetpack rockets, including one that is free, is really nice. You get to throw 3 times for red dices that are going to be impact 4 if you're attacking vehicles. Your whole army surges to hit, so you can easily get all 4 hits. That can be really nice, especially on the leaders and hunters that will never, or almost never, that will normally never equip any other grenade. And since this unit is not going to be, or very rarely on turn 1, going to be willing to double speed 3 move, you can just move at speed 3, you get into a nice position, then you shoot this rocket at a vehicle and get some nice damages at this vehicle, which is very important because it is not easy to deal with vehicles. And then finally you get a whipcord launcher, an extra whipcord launcher, which is really nice because free suppressions and immobilize, it's going to cost you an action, but if you have like a naked unit of warriors that has lost like 1-2 miniatures left, you just throw that, and still 2 free suppressions with 2 immobilize can be really helpful sometimes to stop your opponent from scoring. And yes, this is the whole thing. Really interesting. I think some lists will benefit from it more. Maybe not the best one, but yeah, really interesting. I think if you don't take rapid deployment or veterans, you should take guns for hire and tools of the trade. Tools of the trade is really nice. I think my favorite is guns for hire, and in second it's probably rapid deployment or tools of the trade, and then it will be veterans and last Fits of Veil. So let's talk about rapid deployment. You can choose 2 of your units that are not holding an asset objective token, and you will give them advantage tokens. And the first time they will activate, you can just deploy them wherever you want, out of range 2 of all enemy units. If able, you will probably be always able, and then you just put the leader and the unit in cohesion. If you do, you consider this unit as already activated, it loses its advantage, and it gets no replace phase down. So basically you are done activating the unit, which is really nice. I think there isn't much to be said about it. It is a really nice keyword. Yes, really nice clan bonus. Allows you to put 2 units wherever you want, but very interesting with guns for hire, because guns for hire allows you to have transport unit, which means you can spawn 3 units wherever you want. There are lots of deployments for which it is going to be very helpful, very valuable. But also, if you're going to be playing, for example, close the pocket, you have this middle objective, you can just put a huge tank if you took gun for hire, or at least 2, maybe surging to block red saves units on the, at least 1, maybe 2 red saves surging to block units on this point, on this POI with flamethrowers and stuff like this. It can be really hard for your opponent to just take that point, because your opponent will need to kill those units that will be shooting at him from the beginning of turn 2, sorry. And then you can as well send reinforcement to them. So it can be an easy way to just make sure you can score that point in the early round. Moving on with guns for hire. So you can include an A5, Gav Occupier tank, or a WL5 Speeder tank in your army. They will gain the customizable affiliation, no more, and then they will get coordinate Mandalorian warriors, which is really interesting. I think it is really interesting, because you're going to get 3 orders if you give an order to this unit. Obviously, not a lot of order control in the Mandalorian army. This is something we lack of often, and this is going to be really interesting. And then Independent Search 1, which is really nice, because your 3 vehicles will or not search to hit, they won't, and none of them searches to hit. There is one that doesn't search to block, so it can be really interesting. Fits of Valor, one that is very weird, very ineffective, and that you will never take, but that is very funny. I think it should more be adapted into. I think Tours of Duty Mandalorians, if they have special rules for Tours of Duty, I think that would be a nice thing to adapt into Tours of Duty. And meanwhile, maybe just replace Fits of Valor by something else, because right now it isn't going to do much. Okay, so whenever you kill an enemy unit with an allied unit, it will gain Valor token. While a unit has 1 or more Valor tokens, it has Dauntless. I've already spoken about it. It's nice, but honestly, you still need to kill a unit first. So, will you really need it? Not entirely sure. And then when you have more than 1 Valor token, so 2 or more, at the start of each of your activations, you will gain a name, dot, or search, which is really, really nice. But start of the activation and not start of the round hurts a little bit. It means that you need to activate first to get it. And then, by the time you kill 2 units with 2 enemy units with 1 of your units, since you don't have any special forces that could have flamethrower, that could have maybe clan friend with their duelies, that could have flamethrower, that could have some marksmen to get pierced. Since you can't play this in the customizable clans, it isn't going to do much value, because the game will be pretty much over by the time you get 2 kills on the same units, so you need to be pretty lucky to trigger that. And finally, the last one is really, really weird, because when you have 3 or more Valor tokens, you get Exemplar, but it means you can share the tokens, because it's only at the beginning of activation, so you need to activate it first. 3 kills is really rare, you have like 10 units in your army to get, like if you get 3 kills it might be a quarter of your opponent's army, and you have 10 units. I don't think it's gonna do that much because you're gonna have it's going to be hard to just focus, and you're not going to kill on turn 1, which means that maybe if you kill on turn 2, 3 and 4 you get really lucky, you just pick up the almost dead units. It means you benefit from that on turn 5, which is really useless at this point, especially since you need to activate first to trigger the exemplar with your Veil tokens. And yeah, I don't think it's going to be of any use, unfortunately, but it is very cool. Could be adapted in Call of Duty, I believe. Now we're going to talk about the different tanks that we can have to see which one can be the best one. Starting with the A5 Spirit Truck, pretty solid one. The nice thing is it is quite cheap, 75 points. If you want to bring just a weapon on it, you have a nice impact 2 6 black dice range 3 weapon for only 85 points, which is really cheap for the Mandalorians, and you still bring like a bunch of nice keywords. You can get as well Frenzied Gunner. Yes, that would be really interesting because Frenzied Gunner just add extra dices, extra damages. You roll a red defense die, and depending on your result, you get to add an extra die to your results. That is really nice, and you have like a bunch of things you can add, but basically it is going to be quite cheap, which is nice. And then you have the possibility to add door gunners. You have the possibility to add 2 crew upgrades, which is nice because you have lots of really interesting one. Unsable astromech, why not? If you want. But I think it can be like, it is interesting. It is very expensive though. An Orthodox Tactician for free aims whenever you're going to activate, which is really nice, especially since it you can give those aims to unit at range 3, depending on your red defense dices. And finally, you have Backward Medic to make an action. You give suppression to the unit you heal, but you still heal it. So it is really nice, especially for Mandalorians. This is what I love with the A5. Frenzied Gunner and 2 crew slots allow you to get lots of possibilities depending on what you will want to do, and it can as well be quite a cheap option to bring some more impact, and it is obviously something the Mandalorians really like, and they don't have enough of it, so it is really nice. Moving on, next tank is going to be the Gav Occupier tank. You will be able to, no, you won't be able to do that, okay, sorry. So you have, your nice thing is you already have an impact to range 4 weapons. Not amazing, but you can get on an enemy unit at range 2, you can get 3 red, 3 black dice. It's suppressive. Right now the Occupier tank is a little bit expensive, that is the biggest downside of it. It is a little bit expensive, it is not played much because of its cost in terms of points, but it's still pretty hard to kill. You can pet door gunners, and then you can add your pintle mounted weapons. Either you can get to impact 3 at range 4, which is quite a thing if you're really scared of vehicles, or you can just add a bunch of dices. But overall, it will need a buff to be really interesting, but it isn't bad. Probably doesn't throw enough dice, I believe, for all the cost in terms of points that you're going to put into that unit, so I don't think it's really interesting. Now, a very interesting one though, if you do not want the crew or the cheap cost of the AA5, you should really go towards the WL5. It remains cheap with 100 points only. Possibility to add Frenzied Gunner, which why not honestly, and all the Pirate Captain, which is never going to be useful, so you won't upgrade it with that. And then you can still put the door gunners, once again pretty nice. And overall the WL5 Spirit Tank has some really nice damages, 10 health with white save, so to block is pretty hard to kill, and he has an impact 2 range 3 weapon with pretty nice dices, and then he can get at short range some really nice dices, especially against non-vehicles, but as well again vehicles. So he's a little bit of a more expensive version of the A5 that doesn't get to add the crew and the nice keyword, but that gets to hit much harder at short range. So yeah, another really nice option. Guns for hire can be really helpful because of the lack of vehicles and impact in the Mandalorian army. It is going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you. And if you enjoyed that video, you can obviously like and subscribe to help us to continue those videos. And do not forget, you can also comment. It is really nice.